Welcome back in, party people, to One Piece, Chapter 1142's post-game show. Today, we are going to be reading through the comment section of the full spoiler video and just seeing what all the hubbub is about. What are we talking about? Ange, Loki, Robin, Chopper, Saul. I gotta know, and I want to see what theories everybody is coming up with based off the description of the chapter. So with that being said, let's get right into it with the first comment, the top comment saying, I want to see Loki with the epic Anel face when he realizes that lightning doesn't work on Luffy. That would be an amazing callback, yeah? You know, funny enough, I never thought about that. I thought about lightning not working on Luffy, but an Anel face callback would be amazing, especially in Loki's case, because his eyes are covered in bandages. And when Anel had that shocked face, his eyes were like, you know, popping out of his skull. And then, of course, Luffy in Gear 5th has a whole gag where when people see his powers, their eyes also pop out of their sockets. So maybe that's how we get Loki's eye reveal. You know, Loki has bandages, but not for too much longer. Also, one last thing about the lightning. While the lightning doesn't work on Luffy, I do wonder if that would even matter. Because we assume, I think rightfully so, that Loki has like high tier armament hockey. So I like to imagine the hammer would still do damage. It's just that it would lose like, I don't know, what would you weigh it, right? If the hammer is one part and then hockey another and then lightning another, it would do like 33% less damage maybe? Huh. I wonder if we'll get that statistic. Somebody ask Oda in SBS. So next comment says, it would be absolutely hilarious if Usopp was so drunk he forgot to be scared and put in his best battler performance in the whole series and ends up not remembering any of it. People would be telling him what he actually did and he would be the one thinking they were lying. Oh. Actually, that's a really good theory. I like that. No. I think this is perfect. And this does sound like something Oda would do. Right? Yeah, because I mean, even back on Enies Lobby, right? He had like an alternate persona. So maybe this is a new alternate persona that he just doesn't know about. Drunk Usopp is just coming in, right? And then of course, like he said, when he wakes up, he won't believe any of it, right? Because Usopp, nobody is more negative than Usopp himself. He said that back in Thriller Bark. So if somebody told him that he did all these crazy things, he'd be like, no, that doesn't sound like me. I can't do that. I had Shamrock, Gunko, Summers, and Killing him on their knees? No, not Usopp, not me. What are we talking about here? So, next comment though says, Ange set everything up perfectly. She's devious, yeah. The long-running theory that Ange is evil. Man, I wonder, like I said, this chapter, it felt like an easy alley-oop for Ange's evil, right? But it's so coincidental that I don't want to go all in yet, but it's there. It's not zero, right? Ange is evil, is like maybe 5% plausible, but I'm betting on that 5%. All right, so the next comment is also, it's also about Ange. Ange's first appearance, Sigh. Nah, guys, she's evil. Ange in one panel. Sigh. Guys, I think she's in the Holy Knights. Ange not even shown. Sigh. Guys, I'm 100% she's literally Imu's daughter. All right, wait, whoa. I never said this one. I never said this one. You know, you guys are already here spoiling my next video. And then Ange confesses she created the current threat. Sigh. Guys, maybe she's a normal person. Yeah, okay, when you word it like this, it sounds like backtracking. But I just want to make sure that all of our ducks are in a row. You know, I can't jump full on in that Ange is evil because of one coincidence. We need a second coincidence. We need a second one, and then we're cooking. And now, next comment says, Loki is still cuffed in his ankle, and because of that, he can't use his devil fruit. So the lightning powers come from Ragnir itself. That's a very powerful weapon. I really want to know how it works. Yeah, that's a weird one, right? Of course, we have had like really weird weapons in One Piece before. I think the weirdest might be, it might be Enma, right? Enma's over here sucking the soul out of Zoro when he first tried to use it. So we have seen strange instances. We do know cursed blades are kind of a thing. I say kind of because we got the real explanation for why they're cursed. As far as Ragnir goes, I was about to say, what if Anel's just doing it? Like, imagine Anel's in the sky and he's like, oh, somebody hit Ragnir? Boop. And then he just shoots down lightning. I don't think that's the case, by the way. I talked to Zonin, the other spoiler guy, right? My good friend Zonin. And he said, he had a wacky theory for this, but he said that maybe this has to do with ancient void century technology, like the ancient kingdom, and that there's a satellite in space that shoots down lightning bolts to whenever Ragnir gets struck to something. And as absurd as that sounds, I could kind of see it, because he related it to the mural. He was like, oh, in the mural, you see this giant spaceship in the sky, and it's shooting out lightning, and I thought that was the Arc Maxim, to be honest, but it could be a satellite. I'm not, like, sold on that theory, by the way, but I just thought it was unique. Outside of that, I guess the only real explanation is that Ragnir was forged by somebody who maybe had a lightning devil fruit in the past. Maybe Ragnir's just gonna be a special weapon. I mean, I think there was, like, one guy in the series that actually had, like, a fire sword, too. The guy in Whitebeard's crew. Never mind. I just remembered. The guy in Whitebeard's crew just, like, put alcohol on his blade and lit it aflame. So it's not exactly the same as, you know, lightning coming down from the sky. But yeah, hopefully Oda explains what's going on with this weapon. There is also a chance that it just has a devil fruit itself. All right, we saw Shamrock's blade. Shamrock's blade had the Cerberus fruit, or Cerberus transformation in general. So maybe Ragnir's the same. Maybe it's like Kieran. Well, no, never mind. It can't be Kieran. I mean, freaking Killingham is Kieran, right? What else is lightning-based? Chidori? No, that's like a Naruto thing. Never mind. Forget I said anything. But yeah, Ragnir's weird. I hope Oda explains it pretty soon. This next one says, if I'm not wrong, Saul is the first giant to show armament haki in the manga. That is true. If Kiba is a mix of a giant and a mink, then maybe that is what a Dosundara is. Yeah, that's our best guess at Dosundara. Like, the thing with Scopper, right? Scopper was over here listing out hybrid races. And it's like, yeah, like, I could see this being a thing, right? A giant and a mink. They create this weird Dosundara walrus creature. And then, I mean, of course, like, we can get other things other than just the walrus, and hopefully we get that as well, right? Hopefully Kiba isn't the only Dosundara out there. You know, we don't want him to be the only kind of his race. Actually, now that I think about it, Dosundaras could be what the Yeti Cool Brothers are, because they were classified as a subsection of giants, and we still don't know what that is exactly, so maybe they're just simply Dosundaras. I could see that. Next comment says, Loki has to be the remaining Straw Hat. It feels so much better fit than anyone else who has come this close. Loki being the final Straw Hat. I can't see it. I can see Loki joining the Grand Fleet. I think if he joined his brother Hardin and his crew, technically he'd be a member of the Grand Fleet. So I could see that, but Loki outright being the 10th and final Nakama, that's such a hard one, because, like, how would he travel with us? I feel like nobody's really explained that portion of it. Like, how would Loki follow us to the next island? Like, we'd have to create a brand new ship just for him. Maybe the Giants would have to give us a side ship, because he's not fitting on the Thousand Sunny. You know, and I can't see the Straw Hats making the Thousand Sunny bigger to accommodate a giant, because that would just hinder everybody on the Thousand Sunny. So a giant joining the Straw Hats would be cool and different, but I just don't know how plausible that would be. And then, of course, when it comes to, like, the power hierarchy of things, right? Where exactly would Loki fall in that? You know, would he be stronger than Zoro, lesser than Zoro, stronger than Sanji, lesser than Sanji, Jinbei, stronger, less? Like, I know Oda doesn't care too much about the power scaling, but he's always kept the monster trio pretty consistent. Like, they've never fallen out of place per se, right? So Loki's such a weird character to add into the Straw Hat crew, and I can't exactly see it yet. Not yet. And then, of course, his whole thing is about lying and deceiving people, right? And in that regard, he's kind of like Usopp. So yeah, I'm not too sure quite yet. I've never been afraid of ghosts my whole 31 years on this planet, knowing they existed, but scared until I got a job at a college working nights as the janitor. Last year, I was in the elevator with one earbud in, and laid my head back against the wall, and my music cut out for 1 second, and I heard, shh, be quiet, as if one ghost was talking to another. Even typing this out, my hair is standing straight up. So I feel you, brother. Yeah, here's the thing. I read this comment and my hair stood up. Nah, dude, like, yeah, not like my hair actually stood up, but you know, you ever get like that chill down your spine? Like, you could be making this up right here, but I'm like, ooh, that sounds bad, man. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm afraid of ghosts, because, like, you never know, man. Like, that one, it just takes one little weird coincidence, or, you know, one thing that you hear on the side, and it just really messes you. It sticks with you, man. Like, ghosts are terrifying. Ghosts are terrifying. So this one says, and the dragon kinda makes perfect sense. If any of the kids have seen the mural on the tree, there's probably a winged-horned monster coming down from the top of the tree. So maybe dragons do live atop of Elbaf. Yeah, so this is another cool thing too. I think it was Artur. I think it was Artur who pointed out. So I had to like think about that. I was like, was it Artur? It was either Artur or Dawn and Dusk? Sorry, I hop on Twitter and all these names kind of get mixed up, but shout out to both of them. But one of them mentioned that the dragon in the mural has the same like horn designs where it's like curved like that. It's curved just like Nidhogg. Well, who we assume to be Nidhogg in that final panel. That giant dragon on the far right has the same like curved horns. So they're saying it might be one and the same. Maybe the dragon in the mural is actually Nidhogg, which would be pretty crazy, right? So the Viz even translated Nidhogg as the lightning dragon. And it's like, yo, like maybe Nidhogg and Ragnir have something in common? Maybe Nidhogg is Ragnir, and that's why lightning comes down. I don't know, throwing theories at a wall, but something's going on there. Something's going on there. Your personal ads are hilarious, man. The way you just glide into screen made me laugh. Yeah, I try to make my ads funny. Like whenever I do a sponsor, if I can, some sponsors are very strict on what you can and can't do. But if I can have fun with the ads, I typically try to make them at least entertaining, you know what I mean? This one says, it's funny that Oda used some of the biggest theories about what Loki's devil fruit was to be fears of the kids. I think we can cross out Fenrir and Jormungandr from the possible devil fruits that Loki could have. That is true. But the thing is too, I think even though these nightmares have manifested, I don't think it exactly rules out Fenrir or Jormungandr or even Nidhogg, right? Since Nidhogg has come back into the equation, I don't think it rules them out from being possible God Knight transformations or possible Void Century transformations. I think this, if anything, could be confirmation that they will come back later. Kind of like how in Thriller Bark, we had the Cerberus, right? It was supposed to be a Cerberus. It's more like a Chimera if you want to be technical. And then it came back with Shamrock. So I think this could play a role. And also, we had a Basilisk in Impel Down. And then in that final panel, you actually see like a basilisk right next to the dragon. So Oda does like reusing ideas, but changing them. He does that a lot. This one says, one thing we know is that we're getting another I'm a rubber band from Luffy when Loki tries to use Ragnir against him. Also, I think the Yggdrasil being so old makes everything really dry and easily flammable, making Loki seem unstoppable. Yes. Yeah, I mean, here's the thing, bro. Like, with how Loki just created 2 separate fires, assumably, right? Because he has a fire breaking out at the bottom of the Yggdrasil tree, and then also up in the Sun Realm because it went through the branches. Like, Loki is a menace. And he did this in the span of a single hit that maybe, if we're using One Piece world time, 3 seconds. 3 seconds, hammer, hit, lightning, done. So yeah, I mean, Loki... Imagine he just spams it, dude. If Loki spams that hammer against the tree, Elbaf is done. I mean, it really is. Like, they're all dead. Like, imagine if Loki, like, ran around the tree and just bam, 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 like, you know, like 360. Oh, man. Yeah, Elbaf would be cooked. A fire all around. Giants can't jump off. Fire below, fire above. They're dead. So, yeah, Loki truly is just the biggest threat on Elbaf. And he's also the biggest character on Elbaf, right? I just thought back to the panel where you see Loki standing up with his hammer and then Hardin's like this big. It's so sad. Yeah, it's so sad, dude. I need Hardin to glow up, man. I don't like Hardin that much, but I hope he gets to show his little brother up. Quotation marks on little, you know what I mean? It feels like Usopp's gonna give some good speech to take out the fear from the kids, or maybe even do something to bring them out of the sleepwalk. Yes. So I see this in 2 scenarios, right? If we're going with Usopp being the one who saves the day, it's either one, like you said, he saves them from their fears, says, hey guys, it's all in your mind, right? Something like that. Or 2, he breaks them out of their sleepwalk. But I also think there's a third option where maybe, just maybe, these monsters are absolute gimmicks. You know, think back to Perona. Her ghosts were gimmicks, right? Her real body was hiding. The ghosts don't affect you if you're negative. You know, think back to Sugar. You knock her unconscious, all of a sudden all the toys come back. Maybe this is kind of like a combination of the 2. Or even like Thriller Bark, right? In Thriller Bark, the zombies were very gimmicky. They didn't feel pain. They walked around. They got beat up. They got back up. They only really died when Gecko Moria stopped doing his abilities or when Brook put salt in their mouths. Maybe Usopp's pop greens are what is needed to stop the monsters. Or maybe if we're going with the sugar route, maybe if Usopp wakes up the kids, all the monsters go away, right? I think there's a couple of ways Usopp could really fill this niche, and I'm looking forward to it. I mean, Oda has not forgotten that this is Usopp's arc. Like, I think it was the last chapter where Nami saw the drunk Usopp, and she was like, yeah, like, this is his dream. Like, we can't stop him now, right? So I think that's Oda, like, doubling down and reaffirming that, yes, Usopp will do something here. We just gotta wait for it. And I feel it coming, man. You know, as a former Usopp fan, I'd want nothing more than for Usopp to shine. And I say former Usopp fan because after Enies Lobby, for me, he just kind of, you know, I like Usopp, but he kind of like fizzled out a little bit. He kind of fell into the background. And I just love pre-time skip Usopp, man. I want him back. I want to see Usopp do something crazy. So yeah, I hope the best for Usopp. I genuinely hope for the best for all the Straw Hats that I don't like or characters that I don't like. You know, I always want people to get a proper amount of glow up. Usopp's no different. So this one says, it would be hilarious if Luffy gets Loki to do the Enel dude, everybody's piling on this one, huh? The Enel shock face. But it would be entirely epic if Luffy grabs the lightning this time. A callback to two people Luffy had a hard time fighting when he first met them. Definitely could be a callback moment to when Luffy fought Enel and Kaido. Yeah, yep, this is another one. Luffy grabbing the lightning if Ragnir does. Oh, yeah, wait, yeah. That'd be a big lightning bolt, right? Well, I mean, I guess all lightning's kind of big. But yeah, Luffy grabs the lightning, and maybe that's when we get the Enel shocked face. And then he throws it at Loki. Can Loki tank lightning? I don't think so, you know? And the thing is, with Kaido dodged Luffy's lightning bolt. I don't think Loki's going to be able to dodge. I wonder if Loki can dodge, because the Giants, at least with Saul and Kiba in this chapter, they seem pretty agile, but we've never really seen a giant, you know what I mean? We've never seen a giant just, or, ooh, like a punch is, we've never seen that. So I would love if Loki like tries to dodge or he shows some sort of speed feat. I would actually just love to see a speed feat in general from a giant, because my thing with giants and why I typically don't like them, even before One Piece, is because they're just slow, man. Like whenever we get a depiction of a giant in fiction, they're like, you know, it's the strongest punch you've ever seen, but it's like, it takes forever. So I would love it if Loki just shows speed. Like, we already know he has the power, but I want to see speed, brother. Come on. Come on. So this one says, I can't stop the thought that Gunko is almost like a avatar that Imu can control, or possibly a relative of Imu, to many connections with the arrow, fear of Nika, and just all-around vibe. It's funny, when you said Avatar, I now know you mean James Cameron's Avatar, the blue people, right? Another race that I absolutely hate. I hate them so much. But when you said Avatar, I did think of Avatar: The Last Airbender, and I got kind of tripped up for a second. I was like, wait a minute, mastering all the elements? But yeah, I've seen this theory before that Gunko is either a revolutionary spy or that Gunko is actually like an Emu puppet or maybe Emu themselves. And I don't mind that. I think it needs more legs for it to be a thing, but I think that'd be pretty cool. I don't think it'd be that bad. As far as like the fear of Nika goes though, I just feel like everybody would fear Nika. Like I think if you were to ask the Gorosei what they fear, it would either be Nika or Imu, right? Because Imu can obviously just, you know, extract their soul and kill them like Saturn. So I do think the fear of Nika will be very common among the celestial dragons that know the history. You know, the celestial dragons that know about Joy Boy or the first world. And I do kind of wonder, like, how common is that knowledge? I'm assuming the Gorosei know. But Gunko, the God Knights, Shamrock, how much do they know? That's the real question. So this comment says, remember, all the damage that Loki caused is directly Luffy's fault. So far, Luffy caused the destruction of 2 branches. Yeah, that is true. If Luffy never went to Loki, then yeah, none of this would happen. But hear me out. This could be good, right? If Loki joins our side, and if Loki helps us fight the God Knights, maybe not helps us, but if Loki himself fights the God Knights, maybe we could look at this as a, you know, a neutralizer, a naturalizer. Like, it balances out in the end. Like, yeah, Loki destroyed some branches, he caused a fire, but he fought the God Knights, you know what I mean? Like, maybe that's gonna be the takeaway. But yeah, base level, it's not looking good. But thankfully, Luffy is not oblivious to this fact, right? Luffy himself said, yeah, like, if we get thrown out of Elbaf or banished, it is what it is. So I'm kind of glad Luffy has come to terms with that. And I do wonder if this could even tie into Fishman Island. Now that you talk about like Luffy destroying Elbaf, then it's like, yeah, like maybe Luffy, by setting Loki or by letting someone go, quote, causes the destruction of Fishman Island as well. I do wonder. Not saying that Loki's gonna do it, but maybe somebody Luffy has run into in the past that he could have stopped, but he didn't. So now, next comment right here says, the blowing of the horn is really interesting in context of the Norse Ragnarok. In Norse mythology, Galahorn, a horn associated with the god Heimdall and the wise being Mimir. So, dude, my pronunciation, I feel like you're setting me up for failure right here, brother. I know you're not, but I was like, oh man, I can't pronounce this. The sound of Heimdall's horn will herald the beginning of Ragnarok, the sound of which will be heard in all corners of the world. I feel like Saul would represent Mimir, and if Saul blows the horn, it would be signaling Ragnarok. And yep, we did have a no-named character blow the horn this chapter, so this is pretty much confirmed. And yeah, I do agree. I think this is the start of Ragnarok. And that's also kind of fitting that they blew the horn for the kids and the nightmares, but also because Ragnir struck the tree afterwards, right? Like, the horn blew, Ragnir hit the tree. Like, Ragnarok is here, guys. The destruction of Elbaf is on the horizon, which kind of sucks. You know, with Elbaf being gone, that would be a loss of like a great country for everybody to flee to if the world ends. Like if the world sinks or, you know, islands get destroyed, I think Elbaf would be one of those islands that just always stays safe just because of how tall its mountains are. Now that I think about, wait. Now that I think about it, if the Yggdrasil tree dies and it does catch on fire, I don't think that would be that bad. I'm gonna be honest. I think Elbaf might be okay even if that were to happen. Because the underworld would still be there, right? Unless like the ash like destroys the land or something. I think the underworld might just be where the giants relocate. Like now that I'm thinking about it, whose idea was it to live in the trees in the first place? When did that become a thing? Like 900 years ago or 800 years ago, they were like, hey guys, I know we have this beautiful land here, but we gotta go live upstairs. Maybe that happened because the Yggdrasil tree got so big that it blocked all the sunlight from the underworld. So the underworld got really cold and they couldn't live there. So they had to migrate upwards. And if that's the case, maybe it's a good thing that the tree's gone. You know, and I've made a theory about that before in the past, but like if the Atom Tree wasn't here, the underworld would technically be the sun realm. Like the only reason the sun realm is called that is because it's where the sun shines. But if you get rid of the sun realm and the Atom Tree, the underworld would become the sun world, which I think would follow the thematic of One Piece with Luffy bringing the dawn. I don't know. I mean, I feel like that's an extreme thing, right? Like destroying the Atom Tree just for like different land, but maybe there's something there. Maybe there's something there. And of course, Loki, he did say that the underworld belongs to the sun god, but there's no sun down there at all. So I just think there's a lot of things at play. So maybe Ragnarok, I don't know how it goes down in Norse mythology, you know, forgive me. But maybe Ragnarok is for the best. Maybe I'll regret saying that. We'll see. I'll look it up after this. This one says, I think Killingham made them go to sleep. Gunko is leading them with the arrow. Sommers is how the fears popped up. Yep. I think this is the most common, like, mindset. I think this is the most obvious one. But my only hangup is that Oda just never confirmed it. I just wish he said, hey, yeah, like, Killingham is doing this or Sommers is doing that. But like I said, I think if you were to just go based off of what we had and you wanted to take the easy parlay gambling bet, this would be your go-to. The perfect combo of abilities to kidnap kids. Yep. I do wonder, is Gunko's arrow really doing anything? Are the kids sleepwalking because of Killingham, or are they walking because of Gunko? You know what I mean? Like, if you have Gunko's arrow next to you, does that make you move that direction? I don't think so. So I think Gunko just wants to be a part of the party. I think Killingham is doing the sleepwalking. Unless he doesn't know where to go. Maybe Killingham is lost and he needs Gunko's arrow because he just doesn't have a good sense of direction. Maybe he's like Zoro, right? You give Zoro some arrows and then, yeah, he could go the right direction. That could work out. So now, next one says, Yamato is going to recruit him for her own pirate crew because we all know the closest she'll get to joining the Straw Hats is joining the Grand Fleet. Maybe. This could be it. This is going to be a little bit crazy. Even if Yamato is a Grand Fleet member, okay, I don't know if it's a hot take or not, but I think that Yamato will go to Laughtail. I don't know if all the Grand Fleet's gonna go there, right? I don't, that's like, would we want like Hardin and Cavendish over there? Maybe not. I feel like that should just be for Luffy. But even if Yamato isn't a part of the crew, I do think Yamato should be there at Laughtail. And the only reason I say that is because Yamato right now, she has read Odin's journal all the way through and through multiple times, but Odin's journal is missing the one page that talks about Laughtail. She has a 99% completed story. She just needs that 1%. So even if she doesn't join the crew, even if she doesn't join the Grand Fleet, I hope she is there just so that she knows the ending. I don't know, it's so strange. Because I mean, Odin, she wants to be like Odin, right? Odin knows the ending. Odin found the One Piece, or he helped Roger find the One Piece. So hopefully Yamato does at least that, right? Like I said, that's my hot take, but I think it's like right there. So this one says, crazy how chapter 1141, had we heard that Elbaf's weakness is lightning and fire, one chapter later, Loki causing lightning and fire with his attacks. Yeah, I mean, we talked about it, right? Last week, when we saw the spoilers and we saw the chapter, we saw what Ripley said. Like, yeah, you know, fire and lightning's bad. And then we were like, okay, like this is obviously meaning that we're gonna see fire and lightning. And then boom. Here we have it. And you know what? There was one other line in 1141 that we all thought was really suspicious. And that's Jarl talking about a woman who exists that is older than him. Or at least the fact that he likes older women, then they imply that, oh, older than him, that's not possible. Fire and lightning happened. Jarl's line about older women, I think that is, it's set in stone, right? Come on. This next comment says, Yamato really waited till page 1 and ulti were at 1 HP. LOL, like, I'm not gonna do it, but yeah, dude, Yamato's funny. I mean, I wish we could see, like, the flip side. Like, what was Yamato, Tama, you know, Speed, and Holden thinking when they saw all the torture going down? Like, hey, let's rescue them, but in 5 minutes. You know, like, was that the conversation? Were they entertained by who's who, maybe? Did they want to, like, watch the situation and see how it unfolded? I'm not too sure. Yeah, I kind of wish we got, like, an update on them in the meanwhile. Like, maybe, you know, imagine... This would be way better. Sorry, Oda, but, like, imagine we saw page 1 and ulti. They're getting tortured, but on the side, like, in the top bubble over here, yeah, in the top bubble, you see Yamato, and she's like rubbing her chin, like, that would have been fine. Or like Yamato about to jump in, and then, like, I don't know, like Hold'em and Speed are like stopping Yamato. I just gotta know why they waited so long. That's pretty much it. And this one says, I don't know about the Sommers thing. The whole love is hurting each other makes sense when you realize the rose on his chest and the thorny handle of his sword. Roses represent love, and thorns represent pain. Oda's symbology is top tier. Yeah, I could see that. And that, I think that's the main thing, right? And this could even do with what could happen if you touch the children as well. Because in the chapter, you know, I think it's like the PE teacher, Wolf, he says, Saul, don't touch the kids. Don't touch them, Saul. Don't touch them. And we don't know why he said that. We don't know what happens if you touch the kids. Maybe there's a Thornmail effect, right? For those of you who play League of Legends, it's like Thornmail. You touch the kids, you know, thorns come out or something. You know, you touch the kids, you get in pain. I think that could be the thing. I think that could be just Sommers' ability to protect the kids from being unkidnapped. Is that a word, unkidnapped? I guess we just say saved, right? Stop them from saving the kids. But yeah, I think Sommers is going to have a whole flower attack moveset, which kind of would put him in the same line as Usopp. Because Usopp is the plant guy. Ooh, wait. If Sommers is the fear guy who's causing the nightmares to spawn, and his sword has flower attacks, Usopp opponent, maybe? Maybe. You know, Usopp could stop the fears and beat another plant user at the same time. Or, I heard somebody say this, and I don't know how I feel about it, but or, maybe Sommers is another user of... Is it a user? But he's another swordsman that uses flower-styled attacks like Vista. Oh man, Vista. You guys remember Vista? I wonder, do you guys think Vista is gonna make a comeback in the story? Like, will Vista ever get a fight? Will he ever get explained? Will he fight Mihawk again? That's a tough one. I mean, we haven't seen him since the Payback War. And we didn't even see the Payback War, right? We just saw Vista standing there with the swords drawn. So it's like, man, what happened to that guy? What happened to Jozu? Will we ever see Jozu or Vista again? I don't even know. Like, where would they fit in? Like, as far as Marco goes, I feel like it was always set in stone that we'd see Marco. But Jozu and Vista, like, I really have no clue. Like, I mean, Weevil's already taken care of, so they're not going to fight Weevil, right? Because Weevil was going around destroying the Whitebeard remnants. And then, I guess that's it. I don't know where they'd come back. Like, maybe in the final war, they, like, come in and assist us one last time. But even then, like, would they just do it because we're Ace's brother? Right? Like, maybe they're like, Luffy, you have Ace's will, so we're gonna help you beat the world government. Like, that feels weird. That feels weird. Maybe they come back with Marco, but I mean, we know what happened to the last person Marco brought over, right? Marco brought Izo over to Wano, bro, and Izo's gone. If Marco picks you up and recruits you for a war, I mean, maybe you turn that offer down, right? Like, it doesn't have a good track record. So yeah, I don't know. That's such a strange one. I mean, Vista versus Summer. No, that also feels weird. Ha. Ooh. Where do you guys think Vista's gonna come in? Hey bro, just wanted to say big thanks for the consistency and the videos. I've been reading the manga since Whole Cake Island, and I never really had somebody to talk about the new chapters with every week. For example, for the past few months, I've been watching every video, and it really makes me feel less alone on the journey. Again, thank you, fellow Nakama. Take care. I appreciate it, brother. And yeah, no, I feel the exact same way. And this was actually one of the reasons why I wanted to do One Piece or just YouTube in general. Like, back in the day, he actually hasn't made a video in, like, I think 6 months, but I always used to watch Sawyer 7 Mage, like for Naruto, for One Piece a long time ago, and it was just nice having like a video to look forward to every Thursday, Friday, and I just wanted to be that guy too, you know. That, again, like you said, it makes you feel less alone. It made me feel less alone, and I wanted to put out that same energy in the hopes that maybe you would help people, and I appreciate it, man. Thank you. This comment says, Loki actually knew that Elbaf is in danger, and he just met with the intruder. The attack he did was to warn all the giants. It's a bad warning. This is a bad warning. Here's the thing. Loki does not have Elbaf's best interests in mind, because yes, like I said, he could still help us fight the God Knights. I think that's going to happen, but he's also causing problems. Like, the people at the party have already heard the horn, but while they want to go to the horn and, you know, help the kids, they don't know what's happening, but I'm assuming they want to go to where the horn was blown, but now they have to deal with the fire too, right? You got the horn being blown, but you also have a fire breaking out on the Sun Realm. So Loki, plus minus on that one. So now, this one says, maybe the demon slaying punch holds a secret to defeating whatever the Gorosei are. They seem to be true demons, and this punch is coded in Haki ? Maybe there's something to learn from Saul and his ancient knowledge. A key to defeating their regeneration abilities, I'm guessing. Yeah, that wouldn't be bad, right? So demon slaying punch, I believe it's also translated to final exam or midterm test punch. And yeah, it's a play on words. I think it could be it. And I feel like here on Elbaf, I think we will learn how to hurt the Gorosei. I don't think it necessarily has to be from Saul, but it could be from Scopper. Right, I put a lot of stocks on Scopper knowing how to hurt them because Scopper was there at God Valley. And the way I'm imagining it is that this could even be a callback to Sabaody, right? We're always talking about callbacks, but, you know, Sabaody is a good one, right? Sabaody, we had Kizaru. He had a light Logia ability. We could not hurt him. None of the Straw Hats had hockey at the time, right? Brook was stabbing him. Usopp was shooting him. Zoro didn't do anything because he was on the ground. You know, Sanji was trying to kick him. Nobody could hurt Kizaru until Rayleigh came in. And Rayleigh kicked Kizaru's leg away, saving Zoro, and that was amazing. Scopper could be the exact same, right? Rayleigh taught us how to hurt Kizaru or to hurt Logia users. We could have Scopper teaching us how to hurt Gorosei or people who regenerate. And another thing about the regeneration is that we don't know if the God Knights can regenerate. Like, imagine if Luffy, Loki, Usopp, everybody fights the God Knights. We hurt them, we beat them, but they regenerate. That would be just an endless battle, and eventually we just lose that, right? Unless we just throw them off the island, we would lose that battle one day or another because they would just outlast us. So yeah, I think we do need to find out a way to hurt them, whether it's Saul, whether it's Scopper. I think that's perfect. I mean, hell, Scopper's been on this island for the past 20 years. Saul's been here for the past 20 years-ish. So maybe he learned Demon Slaying Punch from Scopper. I think that'd be pretty good. I think that'd be pretty solid. So now, the next comment says, when Loki says if you want to protect Elbaf, release me, I don't think he means it as a threat as much as that he intended to fight the God Knights. See, I thought this at first until he immediately said, I'll destroy all of you, and then attack the tree. This is where I was too at first, and then he started destroying Elbaf himself. You know, who are we protecting Elbaf from? The God Knights or Loki or both? That's a big question. Oh, but of course, I mean, like I said, these comments, they were made before the chapter dropped. So I think that's a totally fine opinion to have. I think this actually makes a lot of sense without seeing the chapter. But yeah, that is why, like I said, this is the full spoiler comment section, right? We got to keep that in mind. There's a lot of nuance in between that we were definitely missing. Like Loki immediately saying, I'm going to kill all of you. This one says, brother, if Loki joined the Straw Hats, nobody is safe. He would freaking be such an amazing crewmate. Yeah, and I almost think that's why we don't need him. Like, I just feel like Loki's almost too broken, man. He's just too broken. I think that's the thing. And then this guy even says right here, he says, they need a bigger ship. And that's where I'm at too. So now, down below, let's see here. One more. St. Summers speaks about this view of love. We know Scopper is the missionary of love. I see Sommer, Scopper, and Sanji will clash in terms of character. Funny how their names all start with an S. Oh yeah, SSS, Scopper, Sommer, Sanji, all about love. I don't think that's that bad. For Sanji, I think it'll be a weird matchup. I mean, granted, we don't know how Summers fights yet, but yeah, I could see Sanji jumping in here. Scopper for sure. Scopper, I am expecting to see next chapter right away. Like, Scopper is fast, bro. Like, Scopper went from the underworld all the way up to the Elbaf castle in the span of like 2 chapters, right? And that's all because Scopper felt a weird presence. So I think there is a really good chance that Scopper will run into Summers very soon because, of course, they were summoned with the pentagram, the abyss, and Scopper 100% is going to rush over there to see what is going down, especially now that the horn has been blown. Scopper lives on the island. He knows what that horn means. I bet Scopper has kicked into high gear. So yeah, Scopper versus Summers, Gunko, and Killingham. Who will win? That's a tough one, bro. That's really a tough one. I think Scopper is strong in a 1v1. I think he could win, but 3v1 against the God Knights? I just don't know. But with that being said, though, guys, thank you so much for being here. I really freaking appreciate it. Hopefully you guys had a good time here as well. And yeah, I'll catch you guys when the brief spoilers for 1143 drops. And thank you. Thank you for your time. Peace out.